2 seconds. So once we're live, oh, let me turn off this always happens. Let me turn off the volume right here.
Pump up the jam.
Yes. Okay, I think we're golden. So welcome everyone to The New Now with Tom Atzel. I'm in Seattle, Washington, and I have the very great privilege of introducing Mary Ellett. She is actually in Woodlands, Texas right now. So shout out to the Texans out there. What I love to do on this show is just talk to different people from around the nation, see how they're coping with their new now, the positives. We try to stay away from politics, as we know there's a little things going on, and the negativity, but just find out what different people are doing. People who are married, people who are empty nesters, young people in college, or people who are retirees. And so it's just a fun way of reaching out, and hopefully if people can't see themselves in me, maybe they'll see themselves in one of our guests. So Mary, welcome.
Thank you so much. I feel privileged to be lucky number 7.
Lucky number 7. That is a great number.
Yep.
So Mary, let's just, for the audience who know you and just want to see you and say hello, we'll check in on some of the people that are watching. But for some of the people who don't know you, can you just give us a little background of how and where you grew up, and just to the date of maybe your 3 lovely, amazing daughters and your husband, which I think I've known for probably 15, 17 years.
Yeah, it's definitely been a while. It's been a good ride. So I grew up in Houston. So I am a native. I'm originally from here. You can probably tell with my accent. But it could be a lot worse. I'm kidding. But anyway, yes. So I've been here all my life, and I'm a real estate agent. I've also worked for the Houston Texans for about 18 years. And I have 3 amazing daughters and an awesome husband, and we're just kicking it here in the Woodlands, Texas, which is actually, it's probably about, I want to say 30, 40 minute drive outside of Houston. So it's not too bad, but yeah, it's nice and family oriented out here, and we just do our thing.
So you and I had a conversation yesterday, and real quickly, and I know your husband and your girls are gone.
Yes.
Because as most people are doing, they're trying to be conscious of social distancing, but
right.
Be getting a little stir crazy. So tell
right.
everyone what Brandon and your girls are doing.
So right now at this moment, they are actually visiting their grandparents, which it was a straight shot. The grandparents live on 20 acres. They've been nowhere. So I made sure everyone was nice and safe, and but anyway, they're out there running around and just shooting guns and trying to play baseball and having a good time right at this moment is where they're at. But when they're here, I mean, we have had so much fun together. And I know during the school years and shuffling around from, we've got soccer, we've got gymnastics, we've got, all sorts of stuff, school plays, just from the daily grind. I really, really look forward to summertime. I just feel like we're able to kind of hone in and just, regroup. And I definitely feel like this time has allowed us to do that. It's just, life is so fast. Everything's rolling and moving, and, everything's at your fingertips you're busy, you're distracted, you're not in the moment. And I feel like this has really, really been an amazing time for that, as far as reconnection and just, it's almost like we can let our hair down and be together and laugh and giggle, but yet it's still totally different. Like, I've got an 8-year-old on a Zoom call. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have little class meetings, and they try to keep it nice. They do like little scavenger hunts, and they'll do show and tell, and they'll ask them what they miss most. And, they've done a really good job with the online curriculum and everything. It's not crazy, like where did you get your homework done? Did you, like, we have to do this, where it's, like drill sergeant action. But I mean, it's a nice amount, but it's also, they have not put any pressure on us as far as like, anything like that. We wake up in the morning, we, have a little breakfast, and by like 10:30, 11, we've started, schoolwork. We'll do that for about an hour, take a break, go do a bike ride, swim, take a walk, and, we'll come back, hit the homework again, and then we're pretty much done for the rest of the day. So everybody just does their thing. I know
everyone knows, what are the age of your daughters? Because a lot of people are home with their children and
Right.
having a great time, but it's just depending if your kids are in diapers or your kids
Exactly.
are themselves, or teenagers and they can do their own thing.
Exactly. So I like to say that I'm out of the trenches, because when you have your kids in diapers and they're extra needy, I mean, you are in the trenches. You don't have to, you're like, I'm busy. So I feel like I'm out of the trenches. We have 8, we have a 10, and we have a 13. Except now I'm entering new trenches with the 13-year-old, and they're all girls. They're all super sweet. They aim to please. They have great manners, and but I have the 13-year-old that's she's going through some changes, and it's still a wonderful time. But I have to, I mean. She's like, Mom, I miss my friends. And I'm like, no, I understand that. That's, we are definitely missing our friends at this point in time, but, we've got to find other ways to stay positive and keep interacting with them in a positive manner. So yeah, it's either I tell them, hey, if you guys were in school, you'd be saying you can't wait for summer. So just, live it up and try and think of it as a spring break extension plus summer. So
how is, and Texas, Texas likes to say they're their own nation and stuff.
Right.
And I love Texas and I love Texans, but as I've talked with other people from New York, from Iowa, from Arizona, from Washington, every state is kind of handling a social distancing different. How
Right.
are you seeing things in Texas, and what's the vibe down there?
So as of Monday, it's mandatory for masks as of Monday. So everyone, of course, here has been, it's optional, but I mean, I see everyone wearing masks and gloves, and but as of Monday, it will be mandatory. I feel like we have cracked down as far as like our mayor and everything, explaining everything, but it's really not quite, it hasn't hit yet. Okay. I mean, it has hit, but it's almost, and I read somewhere and I was like, oh my gosh, that's the perfect saying. It's like we're preparing for Harvey, but yet we don't know the exact impact that it's going to have when it hits. So I mean, everyone's doing what they can. We've hand sanitizer, Lysol, gloves, masks, but it's like, I feel like it is just now kind of starting to come to where it's like really getting serious. So
have you, and the thing is, I know that unfortunately people in the Southeast and even yourselves have to deal with the hurricanes or tornadoes, right, or other catastrophes. Some other people don't. So you might be, right, a little more used to bunkering down at, right, at certain times. So what are you doing different now than maybe you've been doing differently?
Oh, I mean, I say that it hasn't hit yet, but I mean, it obviously it has hit. Like, school's out. We're not, I mean, it's hit, but it's not like crazy. Everyone seems to be following the rules as far as, we are staying at home. We aren't going out to restaurants. We aren't, if the real estate world, I mean, we are doing everything virtually. And my brokerage has an amazing marketing team. I want to say, actually, like, production team, honestly. And we do virtual tours. We come in and make videos, and then we do our best to just, do everything possible that we can virtually. If we do have showings, we're all masked up. We carry hand sanitizer, and we keep our distance from everyone. But yeah, I mean, my philosophy is just follow the rules. I mean, I know a lot of people are like, why do we have to wear masks? I mean, I've been reading on like Twitter and things like that. Why do we have to wear masks if I get a fine or something? And it's just like, why are you even questioning? Just do what they're telling you to do and follow the rules. That's my personal opinion. But I mean, of course, other people, everybody is different. People have other questions.
Every part of the country is different. You see other people
Right.
have different backgrounds, from scientific to faith, and
Exactly.
they're having their different beliefs. And I respect people, but I want to respect the masses to protect our elderly, our children,
Absolutely.
and everyone else. And as you see some states coming back, I think a little early, but again, I'm not a scientist, so I'm not going to put any views out there. I just want everyone to be safe. So
Absolutely.
what I want to do is kind of talk about yourself growing up, because I think you've had a very interesting growth pattern in your life. And the thing is, not a lot of people have had that. A lot of people might have gone to school, got a corporate job, got into sales, something else. But you've had a very interesting life that not many people have experienced. And I'd love you just to give a little background of how you got into that, what you experienced, and maybe some of the positives that really have come out of it. Because I think when people say professional cheerleader, they get certain image, but I want you not to break that image, but educate people of what are some of the great benefits and some things that can come out of it that you can leverage because of that platform.
Sure. So during high school, I danced, and then I took a break during college. And I've always missed it. And I remember my dad telling me, I'm half Hispanic. He'd be like, Maria, what is it that you want to do? And I'd be like, well, Dad, I really want to dance. I love to dance. And he's like, well, you're going to have to find a backup plan, because I don't think that is going to make enough money for you. I was like, okay, but and in my head, I'm thinking he's wrong. It can. And so anyways, I have my backup plan is sales, business administration. So anyways, I finish school, I come back, and then I just remember the Texans having, this big call of, they're looking for cheerleaders and dancers. Well, they call them cheerleaders, but they're basically dancers. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. I'm just going to give it a shot.
Now, not to interrupt you, but were you the first squad for the Texans?
Yes, the inaugural squad.
What year was this?
Gosh, this is 2001.
Okay.
Yes, it was 2001. So, yeah, I was just like, you know what? I love to make people smile, whether it's cracking jokes or, just being nice. But I was like, yeah, man, I entertain a crowd with dancing. I'm all about it. So I went down there, and there were over 2,000 girls. Now, where I live, it's about a 45 minute drive into town. Well, depending on where you're at, it's 30 to 40 minutes. But this particular location was at, I believe, the old Rockets location. And I drove all the way there, and I was, 21, 22. Drove there, saw all these cars. I almost turned around. If it hadn't have taken me so long to get there, I would have turned around, because I was like, there's no way this is crazy. And so we get there, and it was just awesome. Like, it couldn't have been written any better. The coach is the previous coach, which she's my coach. And I am indebted to her for life. She is an amazing person. She has instilled so many great things to so many people. And but anyway, she comes from comes from WCW, and that's like a wrestling background. Well, I have brothers, and so we always watch wrestling. Well, they had this little dance team called the Nitro Girls, and I just remember being like, oh my God, the Nitro Girls! Look at these, they're awesome. And they would come out with all kinds of dances during, like, the break of the wrestlers or whatever. Well, my coach came from there. She taught them. So it all kind of like my family was excited, of course, because, you know, a new franchise is coming into town, but also this lady is like, comes from WCW. And so anyway, we had 4 cuts out of over 2,000 girls. So, you know, you make it past 1 round. After the first round, you could barely even dance because there were so many people around. You didn't really have any room. So I had gotten dressed and I was like, I'm ready to go home. I couldn't even really dance. I know I didn't get picked. Well, they called my number. So I was like, oh my God, I guess I better get back in my outfit. And so then it just gradually progressed. And I mean,
how many days is this over? Like during your?
This is over a weekend. So it's a Friday, a Saturday, and then you have a week-long practice, and then you come back for finals.
Okay.
So once you make it to the final group, there's about 75 to 50 girls. You practice for a week, and they see kind of how you guys are meshing, and then you hop on to the finals. But I mean, I lost a toenail. It was crazy time over there. But honestly, when you go into a tryout like that, you can't worry about other people. And I mean, obviously you be courteous and you're nice and you wish them well, but you have got to hone in and you have got to focus on what's being taught and on how you're, you know, presenting the material. And I mean, it's not a game. To me, it's a sport. And I know some people would laugh, but I mean, like I said, I have 2 brothers and I'm more of a guy's girl. I'm just not very girly, but my coach helped me kind of transform into that whole role model thing. But also too, I mean, going into the role model thing, you know, I am so blessed and grateful and thankful for her giving me that opportunity to interact with fans and small ones and, you know, please crowds by I don't know, I think NRG Stadium fits over 75,000 people. But I mean, just to have that opportunity, and then you never know what you're giving that fan, that little person, or I mean, it was just amazing.
So,
but
oh, sorry, Mary. What
no,
I
go
want
ahead.
to do is definitely highlight some things, especially for people who are listening, you know, because some people might have daughters that want to get into dancing or sons that want to do different things that maybe people don't see as high school, college, corporate job, different things. What life lesson could you take out of that weekend for yourself that maybe stayed with you the rest of your life, and maybe something that you had to develop, you know, that confidence, that self-esteem, that self-worth that got you through to finally?
You know, the main thing I'm going to say is don't ever count yourself out. Don't ever count yourself out. If there's something that you want and there's something that that you just desire, don't count yourself out, man. Go get it. Go find a way, and it'll happen. It'll happen. I mean, there's a lot of times I didn't even make my junior high dance team. You know, like, I mean, I was awful until I started high school, and then I had to start from the bottom and work my way up. But that's what gave me the fire to just kick it into another level. And then once you get focused and hone in on what it is that your goal or what you're, you know, trying to achieve, there's no stopping you. And I know it sounds cliche, but I'm telling you, it's right here. Once you get it, you just keep going. Don't let them stop you.
I think that's a great example because a lot of us mature differently physically and also mentally. So some people are great athletes in junior high or high school, and some people grow in high school, or they're mentally more developed later in life.
Absolutely.
So, like you said, don't give up on your dream. Just be realistic with what you do. But the biggest thing I think that you probably would attest to is being disciplined. You had to be disciplined enough to drive yourself down there. You had to be disciplined enough to believe in yourself and to follow through. So I think a lot of people have goals, but following through is a hard part for most people.
Right. And absolutely. I mean, and then, I mean, new things are scary, Tom. We all know that, you know. It wasn't comfortable for me to get dressed in my outfit and drive down there, nor is it ever comfortable for people to to get dressed and go on a job interview. You know, I mean, you never know if am I gonna mesh with this person? Is this person gonna be in a bad mood today? I mean, you could apply that to all sorts of different things. But yeah, it's just it's a mindset, and I consider myself a late bloomer, and during that time it was a little, I'm not going to say depressing, but maybe discouraging. Late bloomer as far as like, I mean, I was always okay at sports, but not really dancing. But I wanted to dance, but yet I ended up becoming a strong dancer because I don't know. I just ended up being a strong dancer because of different facets, I guess, that kind of came into play, but it didn't come naturally. And I was way behind. There were girls that, had been dancing for, since they were 3. And I was always shy. I couldn't really go there, but it's a developing, and it's like you said, everyone develops different mentally, physically. Everyone has different challenges. You just got to figure out and listen what it is in your heart that's telling you, hey, I'm going to do this and I'm going to go in this direction. And I might not be the best now, but you know what? I'm going to hunker down and I'm going to be a force to be reckoned with in a minute. So just hold on.
So moving forward, how many years did you dance total? And maybe give us 1 or 2 highlights that, that really stuck out for you. And maybe another life lesson that you can, really talk about, because I mean, along with talking about routines and understanding from different people in different parts of the world, I really want to give best practices or silver linings that we're seeing during this time, and hopefully others can use it.
Absolutely. No, I love that. And I think that is going to help a lot of people out, because I know, regardless if you get knocked down, sometimes you feel a little defeated, but it's good to communicate, and it's good to hear other people's stories, and it's good to just feel like you're not alone. And I'm kind of going off subject here, but I remembered what you just asked me. But I actually, and I'm applying this to real estate as well. I mean,
I'll ask you about real estate in a little bit, because I'd love to pick your mind about what's different. I know you talked a little about it, but I think a lot of people are interested, because that's probably a huge market that's been affected along with other small businesses.
It is. But it's just, as far as like the interaction with people, it's nice to feel that people are going through the same thing that you are. And it helps you just kind of put it more in perspective. But so back to the Texans. So I cheered for 5 seasons. And I worked with them from 2001 up until 2018. And I'm going to say, oh my gosh, like the highlights, I can't even, there's so many. I mean, I've met, presidents. I've gone I was able to go travel the world, because of, this, being associated with them. And I don't think that.
Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We don't talk about highlights. Maybe what are some of the pillars that you actually are instilled maybe with your daughters, your husband now,
Sure,
that gave you the confidence, or things that you brought out of that experience?
right. So I mean, and this also too, kind of, it goes back to my coach. And
you can give her a shout out if you want.
Oh my gosh, Alto Gary, Coach Alto, hands down, the bomb. Love you. Forever grateful for her. She, I feel, was the pivoting point of a girl that had confidence, but maybe not. She helped me shape and form into the person that I am, which I don't know where I'd be without her. But I mean, I'm talking about just attitude, mindset, your work ethics, also too, professionalism. I mean, when you're involved with an organization, with a sports organization or whatever, you have to be professional. You can't be like, oh my gosh, Andre Johnson. Oh, there's JJ Watt. It's David Carr, which was, that was our first quarterback. But I mean, you have to be professional. You're out there speaking with, small children. You're speaking with fans. Some people are intoxicated sometimes. So, I mean, she also helped me not be a chameleon, but be able to maneuver around different scenarios that were thrown my way. And just, I owe everything to her. I really do. But yes, she shaped, that's why I feel like coaches' jobs nowadays, I mean, there's all sorts of different styles of coaching, whatever you want to say. But I mean, in the grand scheme, their job is to help you, is to shape you, is to teach you discipline, is to show you what being on a team is all about, and how it's not just you, it's as a group. But yes, and also too, you're responsible for yourself and your own actions and how you act and how you contribute to the team. But in the grand scheme, we're all in this together, kind of thing.
The mentorship to get the best out of you.
Absolutely. And I mean, even you press people and ask questions and test them so that they can really see what they're made out of. And I feel like as a woman and with 3 daughters that, I mean, life is, I'm not going to say life is hard, but I mean, different things get thrown at all sorts of people, whether you're a woman or male. But I just feel like this whole experience has taught me to just stand tall, hold my head up high. And if you want something, you work for it. You're disciplined, and, you don't mess around. And you're also very kind-hearted, and you're appreciative, and you're thankful, and you're giving, and all those things that kind of come into play with it. But so I mean, I'm grateful for my experience.
Is there anything that, growing up, your parents would always say something, and you were like, "Oh, shut up," and then you find yourself saying it as you get older. Is there anything that your coach maybe instilled in you, and you're like, "Oh, if I have to hear that again," but now you're instilling it into your daughters because it was kind of a life lesson that really meant something?
This sounds so funny. And the thing that I remember her saying is, season the chicken.
What does that mean?
I know, right? What does that mean?
I don't know if that's a Texas saying or not.
Season the chicken. Well, she's originally from North Carolina, but anyways, no. And that is, you put your own taste, your own things to make it, you pull them out of you individually to make you special, to make you stand out, and to make you, I guess I'm not going to say market yourself, but like you pull your individual traits and positive things out of you to show the world. So season your chicken, like you are an individual, and there's no one else like you. So you got to pull those good qualities out and go do your thing. So yeah.
I think that really resonates for a lot of us. When we could say this because we're past high school and college,
right.
But a lot of us, especially in high school, want to fit in because we don't want to be left out. So right. we're not seasoning the chicken. But then in college, or when we leave high school, we start like, okay, I see what makes me me, and people can be true to themselves. And for people going through junior high or high school now, they're like, oh, I want to fit in.
Right.
Totally understand that. But when you get to be yourself, that's where your true artistic, musical, mathematical come about. So it doesn't matter if you want to go to corporate America, you want to go to college, you want to become a cheerleader, you want to become an athlete, be true to yourself.
Absolutely. That's 100%. So, I mean, if I could tell my girls anything, it would be true to yourself. I mean, don't follow my footsteps, follow your own, as far as, I've had people ask me too, oh, my oldest daughter is a cheerleader, but honestly, I mean, they do more of like a cheer, cheer, cheer kind of, and I've been dance background, but I've had a lot of people say, "Oh, I bet you're happy that she's a cheerleader." Honestly, I really could care less. I
Oh,
want
happy.
her. I mean, not care less. Like I'm obviously happy that she's a cheerleader, and we're going with it. We're gung ho. But I don't care if she's a soccer player. I don't care if she's, playing basketball. I don't care if she's, on the debate team. Whatever it is that you are doing, be you and be true to yourself and go with it. Otherwise, I mean, I don't think you're going to really be happy. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're doing something that you're not feeling it, it's not going to end up good.
And I think as we mature as a society, we're doing a better job of this. The baby boomers, Generation X, Generation Y, we were always thinking we'll follow in our parents' footsteps.
Right.
And I think these younger generation, the millennials and the Generation Z, they're getting way more education than we did at a younger age, being on the internet,
Right.
and
Absolutely.
able to experience different things. So I think they're able to see that earlier in life and really grow further, where some people maybe our age are probably finding our true passions or career later in life because we
Right.
did what we thought we should do because
Right.
it was acceptable or parents told us to, and then we're like, maybe we do what we want. And
Absolutely.
so
Absolutely. No, you're right. I think that I mean, I get it. People have to work. People have to, you have to do what you have to do with responsibilities. But if you can find something, even if it's a hobby, but just something that lights you up, I think you're going to be just a happier individual just all around.
So what I'd like to do is just talk now, kind of move forward to the real estate
Sure.
side of things, because I've had the great opportunity to talk to people in college, athletics. I've talked to people in New York working corporate America for Uber. I've talked to college professors, but haven't talked to anyone in the real estate world now. And that is a world that I think not many of us think about until we need to buy or sell a house.
Right.
But I know, having a real estate background and having a lot of friends in that industry, it might not be disastrous today, but there's potential, especially the commercial and individual side. So love to know what you think, and you're not predicting anything, but just your thoughts and how realtors can be successful or maybe pivot to do something different to stay afloat.
Sure. So here in Houston, we haven't necessarily felt any different effects. I mean, people are cautious as far as, like I said, the masks, and we are doing a lot more virtual tours, but I mean, 245 homes went pending just between Thursday and Friday. Like, we're rocking and rolling here. People are still, we've got serious buyers. We've got first-time home buyers that are wanting to take advantage of, all the lending prices. And I mean, it's just.
There are positives out there. It's not the sky is falling.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There are positives out there, and the sky is not falling. I mean, not yet anyways, but I mean, this whole thing has really changed the perspectives as far as, working from home and doing things virtually. I mean, you can work from home and you can do a lot of things, virtually. Even if you're not comfortable with them, it's one of those things where, like, just rip the Band-Aid off, man. Just, get on your Zoom call with your client. You may not like the sound of your voice. You may not like the way you look. I mean, we're quarantined. It is what it is, but who cares? Just do your thing and just keep it moving. But I mean, here in Houston, as far as real estate goes, we've been pretty good. We've been able to, do our thing.
The difference that you're seeing, like open houses, You're seeing less inventory. What's the biggest change for you?
The biggest change is going to be the open houses, the virtual tours, which we've always had virtual tours. We just haven't utilized them as much as we are now.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's usually you see agents like every weekend there's an open house sign, there's an open house. It's all virtual.
So what are you doing to change maybe your marketing strategy or to combat not being able to have as many open houses?
So as I mentioned earlier, we have our particular brokerage. We are, I moved over here probably it's been about a year. And I mean, this place is amazing. So it's always been accessible at my fingertips, but being that we have an in-house production team, it's like a no-brainer. It's super easy. We just tell our production team, hey, we need this done at this address. We go over there and we'll shoot a video, or they'll go in there and do the virtual kind of thing. And it's as easy as that. Now, some other brokerages that aren't, as up to par, maybe they don't have that. You have to like go out and go to another company and book an appointment to get the home done virtually, which in my scenario, it's easy. It's right at my fingertips. I know they're getting booked up to where, you're having to wait. And a lot of people, the sooner the better. There are still people that need to buy and sell. So the sooner you get the home on the market, the better, as far as it being able to get sold. So if you're, backed up because you can't get the home on a virtual tour, then that kind of puts you behind. But like I said, I'm not having that. I'm lucky to not have that issue. But yeah.
I think that was one of the questions I want to ask for some people out there, maybe younger, maybe empty nesters, if they're looking to sell or looking to buy. And again, Texas is different than New York, Chicago, Iowa, sure, Arizona, Seattle. But what would you recommend people to do if they're looking to sell? What are one or two tips that they can do to kind of prepare, like you said, to give them the best chance to be successful?
Right. Well, number one is going to be call me. Joking. No, the best thing, honestly, when I first heard that, hey, have national crisis, New York and I was just like, oh my gosh, like I really was worried. And I've had several homes come up on the market, like right when that was said, and I was like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Is this thing, are people even going to look at this thing? How long is it going to sit on the market? And I tell you what, the thing was gone. Things are rolled. They're just like that. And it's because
and every market, I think we need to be honest, is different.
Absolutely.
If you're living in New York City, things might be a little different.
Absolutely.
And other places. And you said this to me the other day. In Houston, you're very closely tied to oil. And so if oil is doing well, everyone's prospering. If it's doing bad, so I think every state or every city has its thing that it's tied to. And
absolutely,
for you guys, it's oil.
Yes. So just because, we're doing, so far we're maintaining and doing, pretty good here real estate wise on the oil front. When it's going good, it's a monopoly. When it's going bad, it's devastating. People are losing their job. I've had a lot of friends have been laid off. And it's just, it's a crazy thing. And the market it's depending on what industry you're speaking of. It's crazy. Our restaurants are closed. It just so happens to be that real estate, we have not gotten hit hard yet. And I say yet, but it's like I said, the Harvey thing. We're preparing. We don't quite know the impact yet, but I'm sure it's headed this way. But the best thing that I would suggest is go if you're selling your home. Obviously get it show ready. definitely look into your virtual touring, and definitely, you know, I don't know, it depends on if the home's empty or if the home is being occupied, but I would provide, you know, like the booties that you put on your shoes, some hand sanitizer, maybe leave some gloves out just in case. I mean, it's better to be over cautious than not. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So the last thing I really want to get into, and I know we can talk for hours, but one of the last things I want to talk about is you and I both have a passion for animals. And I know you fostered a dog before, and we talked yesterday that you have more than one animal around the house. So I just wanted you to highlight maybe your experience getting your dog and some of your other animals, and just to know about that.
Yes. So here in Houston, we have a rescue organization by the name of Canine Angels, and they are amazing. They foster animals. They actually get them from the shelter before they're killed, and they foster them out. And then every weekend they have a big fostering program. And I originally went there for a puppy for the girls. We went and saw the puppy, but then we started walking a little bit further down, and then I'm telling you what, I saw the dog that I currently have now. Her name was Essie, was her foster name, and we call her Jessie now. And as soon as I saw her, it was just like the clouds had parted and the angels were singing. And of course, my husband is like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, this one right here. But I tell you what, she has been heaven sent. She is the nicest little thing. And pit bulls get such a bad rap. Can you hear me? Am I cutting out?
No, I can hear you. You're good.
Oh, okay. It said something about my internet connection being unstable. Anyway, Canine Angels Houston Rescue Organization, amazing. Yes, I would definitely, please go check them out. They always post their animals. They're really social media savvy. But yeah, it's a good cause, and they've got great little things there.
I read the best article the other day, and I'm sorry to say I don't know where it was located, but they showed the dog kennel with all the volunteers in the kennels, and all the dogs have been taken and found new homes. So I thought it was the greatest thing. That for me, loving animals the way I do, the silver lining is, people are reaching out and giving a forever home to a new dog or some other animal.
You're cutting out.
Oh, can you not hear me?
I don't know. You're a little bit. There we go. Gotcha. You were stuck. So
what I was just saying is, I saw where all the animals at a shelter were taken, and this is one of the silver linings that I'm seeing is a lot of people are reaching out and giving forever homes to animals that would not have them normally. So I thought that was such a great piece.
Right.
So, well, good. I know we've been on for about 45, 50 minutes, and I want to be conscious of everyone's time, and especially—
That's it, Tom? It only feels like 5. No, I'm kidding.
It's quick. So I just like to say thank you for your time. I think it's very interesting to hear from someone in a different part of the country.
Absolutely.
Different perspective. But before we leave, is there any parting words that you want to give out to friends, family, your daughters, your husband, or other people that are watching this? And if you have anything to promote, please go ahead.
Oh, you're sweet. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for having me, because I always love speaking with you. But yeah, I mean, I know everyone's having a hard time, and I'm not a hard time, but a different time. But yeah, I want to encourage everyone to try and find the silver linings that you just so graciously speak of. But I mean, we get to spend time with each other. We get to reconnect with our families, even our animals. And actually, when you call someone to ask how are they, I was just telling you this the other day as well. Like I always want to know how people are, but this is a really good time now to call and reach out to people and genuinely ask how are they, and just hearing their voices and just having a small conversation. It doesn't have to be long, drawn out thing, but now is a good time to do that. Reach out, people that you haven't talked to in a while. But yeah, I want to encourage everybody to stay positive, and we're all going to get through this, and we're all going to, be talking about it in a couple years about, being quarantined in 2020. But yeah, just keep smiling, and there's plenty of stuff to be thankful and happy about. And wash your hands.
Well, good. Well, I thank you for your time. Tell your husband hello when he gets back, hopefully tomorrow with the girls, and enjoy your time off. And yeah, I think just people hearing from a different person, from a different part of from the U.S., sometimes different gender or
absolutely
ethnicity might be able to hit home. So
absolutely.
If anyone has any questions, please, you can leave a message in the comments, and I can DM Mary if you have anything you want to say to her. If not, I want to thank everyone for their time.
Yes.
Have a great Saturday. Stay safe. Like you said, wash your hands and enjoy.
Yep.
Thanks so much.
Bye. Thank you, guys.